Hello, here is the news at this hour from Tstv. I'm Kende Durutilu. Here are some of the major headlines. Oyo records second highest new cases in Nigeria. Court stops OBASEKI from participating in Edo PDP primary. Saudi Arabia to hold very limited HAJJ. And in sports, Ancelotti accused of £1 million tax fraud. The news in details. Oyo State has recorded 76 new cases of COVID-19. This was announced by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) on Monday. The number of new cases the state recorded on Monday is the second highest in the country. The total number of confirmed cases in the state is now 988. NCDC also announced that 675 new cases were recorded in the country. The total number of confirmed cases in the country is now 20,919, out of which 7,109 patients have been discharged. The country has also recorded 525 COVID-19 related deaths. Meanwhile, the federal government on Monday kicked against the reopening of schools in Oyo State amidst COVID-19 pandemic, describing such as insensitive to the health of the people. Minister of State for Education, Mr. Emeka Uwajuiba, said this at the Presidential Task Force briefing and COVID-19 Daily News Conference in Abuja. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State had earlier ordered the reopening of schools across the state. According to the minister, it is expedient to recognize the fact that Oyo State is a government operating under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a federating unit. He noted that though the governor had the right to reopen the schools as he deemed fit, but added that the primary purpose of governance remained the security of the people. Uwajuba said the federal government had over 138,000 schools across the country, and for the governor to open the schools was, in the very least, insensitive. He, however, urged parents to, as a matter of urgency, keep their children in wards under lock and key to forestall contacting the COVID-19 pandemic. To some other news, no fewer than 315 Nigerians stranded in the United Arab Emirates and Senegal due to the coronavirus pandemic have been evacuated. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, made this known via Twitter. Onyema said 298 nationals were repatriated from the UAE, while 17 citizens were evacuated from Senegal. The minister noted that the evacuees tested negative for the virus and would undergo 14-day self-isolation as well as get tested for the virus again. Another hurdle appears to have been thrown on the path of Governor Godwin Obaseki's participation in Thursday's governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State. This comes as a federal high court in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, has granted an ex parte order barring the PDP in Edo from allowing Governor Obaseki to take part in the exercise. Justice Emmanuel Obile gave the order on Monday after granting the application filed by one of the PDP's aspirants in Edo, Omorige Ubede Ihama, who said he would not step down for the governor. He also ordered that the parties in the suit should be served through substituted means in two national dailies. The judge thereafter adjourned the matter until June 24th for the hearing of the summons. In the suit filed before the court on Monday, Ubede Ihama sought an order of interim injunction to restrain members of the PDP, except those who purchased the forms during the stipulated timetable, from participating in the primary, pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice for interlocutory injunction. The defendants in the suit included PDP National Chairman Uche Secondus, the party, and Governor Obaseki. To some foreign news now. Saudi Arabia has announced it will hold a very limited Hajj this year, with pilgrims already in the kingdom allowed to perform the annual ritual as it moves to curb the biggest coronavirus outbreak in the Gulf. The decision marks the first time in Saudi Arabia's modern history that Muslims outside the kingdom have been barred from performing the Hajj, which last year drew 2.5 million pilgrims. The move to scale back the 5-day event scheduled for the end of July is fraught with political and economic peril and comes after several Muslim nations pulled out of the ritual that forms one of the main pillars of Islam. The kingdom's Hajj ministry said the ritual will open to various nationalities already in Saudi Arabia, but did not specify a number. The Hajj, a must for able-bodied Muslims at least once in their lifetime, could be a major source of contagion as it packs millions of pilgrims into congested religious sites. The decision comes as Saudi Arabia grapples to maintain a major spike in infections, which have now risen to more than 161,000 cases, the highest in the Gulf, and over 1,300 deaths. The trial of South Africa's former President Jacob Zuma on decade-old corruption charges alongside French arms company Thales is due to resume on Tuesday. In February, a judge issued a state warrant of his arrest after he failed to appear citing illness. The court, however, rejected his sick note, saying he would have to provide adequate proof at his next appearance. The trial date was postponed to May the 6th, but then delayed again because of coronavirus safety regulations. If he does not appear in court on Tuesday or fails to provide an adequate reason, he faces being arrested. The legal saga dates back to 1999 over alleged kickbacks in a multi-billion-dollar arms deal. The deal, which co-accused Thales, was overseen by Zuma when he was vice president of the country. Zuma's lawyers argue that charges against the 78-year-old should be dropped due to political interference and an unreasonable delay in prosecution. But the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, said there was a clear public interest in ensuring the prosecution and no evidence of political motivation of the charges. In 2007, Zuma was charged with 16 counts of racketeering, corruption, money laundering, and fraud. The charges relating to 783 payments in connection to Thales were dropped before he became president in 2009. In early 2018, the NPA served a fresh indictment citing Zuma must face trial. To some sports news, the Super Falcons home kit has been voted the best jersey of the 2019 Women's World Cup in France. The home kit, designed by Nike and unveiled in 2018, earned numerous reviews during the tournament last summer. The FIFA poll, which ended on Monday, had 2,348 voters involved in the process, which Nigeria finished in top with 50% of votes cast. Australia came second with 21.3% of votes, while England 15.1% and Germany 13.6% placed third and fourth respectively. Recall Falcons qualified for the knockout stage of the Women's World Cup for the first time in 20 years in France, but were knocked out in the second round after losing 3-0 to Germany. To some other sports news, Everton boss Carlo Ancelotti has been accused by prosecutors in Spain of not paying £1 million in taxes for image rights earnings during the Italian's time as Real Madrid boss in 2014 to 2015. The Madrid Community Prosecutor's Office claims the 61-year-old concealed revenues intending to avoid his tax duties towards the public treasury with no justification. Ancelotti is yet to respond, and Everton said they have no comment to make. The Toffees played their first game since the Premier League's restart against Liverpool on Sunday, drawing 0-0 at Goodison Park. Ancelotti, a former Italy international, took charge of the Merseyside club in 2019 after a year at Serie A side Napoli. With that, we've come to the end of the news. A recap of the headlines. Oyo records second highest new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Court stops OBASEKI from participating in Edo PDP primary. Saudi Arabia to hold very limited Hajj. And in sports, Ancelotti accused of £1 million tax fraud. As the world eases out of lockdown, kindly ensure to take all advice and precautions as given by health workers. The news was compiled by Mubola Barikale. I'm Kende Jurusilu. Good day, and thank you for watching.